Alrighty, so we're going to go on to number 18. So in number 18, we're trying to find another angle. We are trying to find alpha. And alpha is kind of like an A, that's why it's called alpha. And it's the Greek letter alpha. And I'm going to need to use these two numbers, 7 and 20. So in physics, as I've said before, you have to use those two numbers to solve for all the rest of the variables. So we're going to do just that. Now, I need to identify which side is which according to alpha. So if this is my alpha here, I'm going to look at which side is touching that, and that's 7. So this will be my adjacent. And the 20 is the longest side, and it's not touching that 90-degree angle. So this is my hypotenuse. And then this side over here is my opposite because it is not touching my angle at all. All right, so if you'll notice, this is different in terms of these two. The adjacent and opposite are not the same as they were up here. And that's because I'm using a different angle as my point that I'm starting at. So I have adjacent and opposite. And so now I need to figure out which trig function I need to use. So I'm going to write out SOHCAHTOA. And I'm going to look at what I have. So 7 is my adjacent side. So I'm going to underline adjacent. 20 is my hypotenuse. So I'm going to underline the hypotenuse. And then I'm going to pick the one that I have both numbers. So cosine, I have both adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's the one I'm going to need to use. So I'm going to write cosine of my angle, which in this case, my angle is alpha, is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Well, adjacent is 7, and our hypotenuse is 20. And that's it. Well, almost. Now I need to make it so that this alpha is by itself. So like I was saying before, the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is division. And the opposite of cosine is inverse cosine. So what I'm going to do is I need to do exactly the opposite of cosine to both sides. So just like when you can add 5 to both sides, you could subtract 5 from both sides. I'm going to do the inverse cosine of both sides. And it just looks like cosine to the -1. And that button is on your calculator. All right, so this is going to cause the inverse cosine cancels out the cosine. And so the only thing I have left on the left-hand side is alpha. And that'll be equal to the inverse cosine of 7 over 20. And that's it. There's our answer. That's number 18. I'll see you for the next one.